Welcome back to another episode of Meant to Vent News. My name is Jaime, and what I like to do here, if you're new to the channel, is give my crazy thoughts and opinions on crazy news around the world and find ways to connect them to conspiracies. And sometimes I just ramble about nothing. But lately, there's been too much corruption. There's been a lot of crazy things being revealed. There's been a lot of cover-ups, and there's been a lot of madness. And it's just been a free-for-all of all that kind of things. But one of the things that's been really bothering me is all these crazy scientists and rich people thinking that they can play God. Like Bill Gates. I want to talk about Bill Gates. I did an episode recently where I mentioned him and some things, and I tried to put some clips up, and TikTok wouldn't put my clips on of when I spoke about him. When I told this guy that he shouldn't give us health advice, they wouldn't let me talk about that on that platform, which I thought was really weird and interesting. But this guy feels like a super villain of every movie that's ever been created. Like, he's the super villain of this generation. I don't know how he's allowed to just continue without any persecution and no things like that, where people don't go after this guy for crazy things that are happening. I mean, he's in other countries right now, trying to put microchips in babies over there in other countries, weaponizing mosquitoes and ticks. And that's perfectly fine. He's been at speeches where he talks about, controlling our population with vaccines and things like that, where I thought those were supposed to be good for us. But this guy's saying, oh, with these, we can control the population. That doesn't sound like you're looking out for our future at all. And I don't understand how this guy is allowed to say those kind of things. I feel like he's threatening our society or threatening humanity with those kind of things. Like, you're going to control the population. It's really scary when this guy can just sit here and talk about things, especially now this guy's talking about controlling our weather. And he also wants to control our food. Like, he wants to sit here and block out our sun. And he's giving this project over here. It says here in this article right here, a Bill Gates venture aims to spray dust into the atmosphere to block the sun. What could go wrong? How about a lot could go wrong? How about our weather could all be messed up every single day? Like, it's supposed to be hot in this area and hot in this area. Like, our skies are all farmers ain't going to be able to grow no food, which is probably part of his plan. And it's probably going to damage everybody's livestock. And we're going to have to go get his fake food because this dude makes all this fake food now. And we're going to have to be going to this guy like he's our savior, right? Because this dude's going to be controlling the food and everything like that. He owns the most farmland in America. I don't know how you're going to let a dude that runs computers and try to put a data center over there. I don't know how Elon Musk's data centers over there allowed to be doing that same shit over here too. It's polluting everybody like crazy and nobody wants to talk about it. But let's talk about it because they got all the loot. You're not allowed to because they got all the money. But back to this guy. He wants to damage our sun. Like I said, hurt everybody's livestock, everybody's farmlands, everybody's sky, everybody's water, and we got to come to this guy for our free food. This guy over here is trying to play God, and I'm sorry, he's too ignorant, and he won't accomplish it. Because the fact that he thinks he could play God just shows how ignorant this man is. And especially all these other wealthy and crazy mad scientists out here, or just these wealthy people that can pay these mad scientists out here. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry to give you the bad news. Britain even approved a sun-dimming experiment in a bid to prevent runaway climate change. Again, you're trying to control our weather, and I feel like you guys are trying to play God. You're sitting here in your lab coats or non-lab coats. You're sitting here behind your podiums. You're sitting here looking at your bank accounts, and now you guys think you're like something that we should worship. But the fact that you think that God's like a person is even the more ignorant in the fact of you're even more dumber than you even look, because you're not going to complete your mission. I'm very sorry. You're sitting here trying to make babies without women. You're trying to grow babies in machines. You're trying to make robots. You're trying to make all these organic life forms. You're trying to make, trying to redesign and biohack our genetic codes. You're trying to play God, but you're not going to succeed. Every time you try these things, look what happens in those labs when you don't, the shit that you're not to talk about. All these people get mutated and all these crazy monkeys with 7 arms come out. And crazy things are happening out here and nobody wants to talk about it because you're sitting here trying to play God and you keep failing because the fact that you think you can, it's just so ignorant to me. These highly educated people are just that dumb. And this guy over here is going to damage all our food, and we're going to try to come to these people like they're our saviors. They're supposed to come to these people like this, and I just can't even believe it. I just can't even grasp it. You think you're going to come here with your fake creations, and like you got to make all this validated math equations for us to believe your BS, and you're going to have these files this big that no one's going to read to validate your insane ideas, and they're just going to throw hundreds of millions of dollars at it like you do to all the media and all these other people to let you do these crazy experiments on innocent people. On innocent people, you just throw your money around and you're allowed to do this on innocent people. I'm already getting in trouble on YouTube, so this doesn't even matter anymore. Like, this dude should not be allowed to be doing anything like this. You got even like Michelle Pfeiffer slamming at this guy's FDA approved, like, this guy's taking over like organic things like apple cider vinegar and like the peels, that the covering coating that goes over your food, like these new pesticides. Like, this dude's controlling all these things, and now he's controlling all the farmland here as well as in America. What's he going to do with all the farmland? Just make fake food on there, and we're going to have to go chase the guy for some bread? Yeah, and then he's going to control our weather. Like, why is this guy allowed to be even making these kind of decisions? The dude got his money off a stolen account. I hear they say that he stole the idea or stole Microsoft, and now he's like a huge-ass company. So they broke up Microsoft because the company was too big. They were like, oh, you got to break it up. But now all these other companies like BlackRock and all these other companies get big as heck and just buy everybody, and now it's allowed. It's kind of interesting. Or like the Wolf of Wall Street, you couldn't do all the crazy things in the stock market. And now look what's happened in the stock market. Let's ask the Pelosi family, right? You just got to come up to these people because they're allowed. They're allowed. And then all these, like, they threaten everybody with fear all the time. And we got to come to them to feel safety and secure, right? So they'll be their saviors because they're trying to play somebody to worship. They want us to worship these people. But it's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Because you're coming at it all wrong. The fact that you don't understand the concept of God even shows you're more ignorant. You're dumb. Like, I'm sorry, but you're dumb. You're not. You got to quit playing God because you suck at it. You just suck at it. You just, God didn't need like a lab like this. Like, he didn't need like a welder and soldering things and like people working slave hours in other countries trying to make your next iPhone. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't need the guy making my next Nikes, like the shoes that I love. Like, I mean, we don't, he didn't need all that. But all these people are coming out here and we got to worship them all. We got to worship them all because they're all trying to play God out here. These people it's really crazy that like they are coming up with these insane ideas out here. Assisted suicides. Like, now it's allowed. There was a documentary, there was a Dr. Kevorkian, the dude was doing it, he went to jail for it. But now you can go to certain countries and it's allowed. But it's really hard for me to take advice from these people or even believe anything they say anymore when you see all these stupid, ignorant things, like just the Epstein files alone. Okay, the fact that we're still talking about the moon landing. And the fact that you still can't show us a clear picture of anything, because if we see something clear, we might notice something that shows you're not telling the truth. Because you don't want to just tell the truth. We get a blurry picture of another planet or another blurry picture of something. You're like, that's another galaxy. Or you see all these little specks. That's all the galaxies out in space. And here's another little tic-tac UFO. And you can't even tell me how deep the ocean is or what's down in the ocean. Or you won't even tell us what the heck is really out in space. And you can't even tell us what's really going on in the fact the way you run the world. And we're supposed to believe you now. And we're supposed to come worship you. That's why I feel like this is the Wizard of Oz. That's the persons that are spinning the wheels and making all this, smoke screens and explosions and, big holograms. And then the curtain gets pulled over and some little punks with giant bank accounts. Little fat, stubby, angry, rich dudes. But the fact that you're coming over here and trying to control my weather, control our food, and control everything that happens out here, control our water and everything out here, control our farmland. I'm sorry, but I'm not buying it anymore, man. I'm not buying it. You guys can't play God. You're not going to succeed. As much as you try, that finish line is never going to be in your reach. Well, my name is Jaime, and this has been another episode of Mentivent News. Till next time, see ya.